Most people move through life believing it is happening to them. They wake up, respond to the day, manage what shows up, react to what goes wrong, and then go to sleep, hoping tomorrow will somehow be different. They believe circumstances arrive randomly. They believe challenges are interruptions. They believe stress, setbacks, and disappointment are signs that something has gone wrong. But what if nothing has gone wrong at all? What if the very situations you label as obstacles are not punishments, but messages? Because life does not operate on chance the way we were taught. Life responds to alignment, not to what you say you want, not to what you casually wish for, not even to what you think you believe. Life responds to what you consistently expect, feel, and rehearse internally, often without realizing you are doing it. We have been conditioned to believe that manifestation is mechanical. Say the words, repeat the affirmations, visualize the outcome, paste images on a board and wait. And yet, people do all of this and still return to the same life year after year. Why? Because attention without emotional congruence is empty. Let me show you something simple. If I say to you right now, do not think of a chimpanzee wearing a red tie and a blue pinstripe suit, what immediately appears in your mind? That image arrives uninvited, not because you want it, but because attention activates imagination, and imagination activates emotion, and emotion is movement. Energy in motion, emotion. Where emotion flows repeatedly, experience follows obediently. This is why people speak one way and live another. They say they want health, but emotionally rehearse exhaustion. They say they want abundance, but emotionally expect scarcity. They say they want freedom, but emotionally cling to safety. And life does not argue. It simply reflects. Walk into someone's home and look closely. Dust-covered treadmills, unread books, unfinished plans, well-intended beginnings abandoned quietly, not because people are incapable, not because they lack intelligence, but because desire without identity alignment fades under pressure. We do not receive what we want. We receive what we believe we are entitled to experience. And belief is not what you say when life is calm. Belief reveals itself when resistance appears, when the bill arrives unexpectedly, when the old habit whispers comfort, when discouragement taps you on the shoulder and asks, "Are you sure?" That moment exposes the subconscious. And here is the distinction that changes everything. Your conscious mind reacts to life. Your subconscious mind creates the pattern life follows. Conscious thought responds to the immediate environment. Subconscious thought decides what keeps showing up. That is why you can drive home and barely remember the drive. That is why your body reaches for the same coping behaviors without debate. That is why patterns repeat even when you swear you are trying something new. Your subconscious does not respond to intention. It responds to familiarity, and familiarity is built through repetition, attention, and emotional reinforcement. This is why resisting a thought often strengthens it. When you say, "I don't want this," your attention is still fixed on it, and attention feeds. The mind cannot process negation emotionally. It only knows focus. So the more you push against something with feeling, the more real it becomes. This is why fear multiplies, why worry expands, why frustration seems to attract more reasons to be frustrated. But here is the shift. Instead of asking, "How do I get rid of this?" ask something far more powerful. Why is this here? Every experience carries instruction. Every irritation
irritation contains information. The person who gets under your skin often mirrors a trait or wound you have not yet integrated. The situation that keeps repeating usually signals a lesson being postponed. We suffer not because life is cruel, but because we refuse to interpret the message beneath the noise. Most people live reactively. They wait to talk rather than listen. They see movement without understanding meaning. They hear sound without grasping significance. True mastery begins when reaction is replaced with observation, when you slow down enough to notice what is actually happening within you, when you stop asking, "How do I escape this?" and start asking, "What is this shaping me into?" Success does require effort, but not frantic effort. The greatest effort is mental discipline, learning how to direct attention deliberately. Everything visible was once invisible.
Every structure, every invention, every system. Someone imagined something that did not yet exist and treated it as real long before others agreed. But here is the paradox most never grasp. Trying to force change through conscious will alone creates resistance. The subconscious learns through presence, not pressure, through consistency, not intensity, through stillness, not struggle. When you stop dragging yesterday into today, when you release guilt about what was, when you stop rehearsing anxiety about what might be and fully inhabit now, the subconscious recalibrates. Presence dissolves distortion, clarity replaces compulsion. And this is where most people misunderstand growth. Nothing in your life is random, not the delay, not the conflict, not the disappointment. Your responsibility is not to resent it, but to engage it intelligently. Why is this showing up now? Why does this trigger me? Why does this energize me or drain me? When you become proactive instead of reactive, power returns. You listen more than you speak. You look deeper than appearances. You choose deliberately rather than habitually. And when you quiet the noise, when you step away from constant stimulation, when you allow silence to do its work, insight emerges, not dramatically, not loudly, but unmistakably, like a signal growing stronger the closer you move toward alignment. Pay attention to what gives you energy, even if no one else understands it. Pay attention to what drains you, even if it looks impressive from the outside. Accept facts, but never confuse facts with truth. Facts describe what is. Truth reveals what can be. Every meaningful path demands confrontation with fear, with doubt, with conditioning, with the expectations of others. There will be moments when the world insists you can't, and something quieter but far more authoritative responds, I can. When you align with that voice, momentum awakens. And when momentum awakens, purpose moves from concept to action. Think of a receiver running downfield. The ball is thrown before the outcome is visible. Faith is not passive belief. It is movement without guarantee. Sometimes you must act before certainty arrives, not recklessly, but resolutely, because the moment belief, emotion, and behavior align, life responds. What you seek is not avoiding you. What you desire is not withheld. It is responding to the level of coherence you are willing to maintain. As you believe, you behave. As you behave, you receive. And eventually you realize that which you have been searching for has been searching for you, waiting for you to stop resisting the lesson, waiting for you to stop arguing with the process, waiting for you to recognize that nothing was ever missing, only misunderstood. And when that understanding arrives, quietly, firmly,
unmistakably the path opens, not because life changed, but because you did.
Before we go any further, understand this. Insight without application changes nothing. You can hear truth, feel inspired by it, even agree with it completely, and still return to the same patterns tomorrow if it stays in the realm of thought alone. Wisdom must be lived to become real. Everything we've just explored, the way emotion directs outcomes, the way the subconscious shapes experience, the way life reflects alignment, means nothing unless it is translated into daily action. So what follows is not theory. It is a practical path, 5 deliberate steps designed to move this understanding out of your mind and into your life, so that awareness becomes discipline, insight becomes behavior, and intention becomes reality. Let's begin. Step 1, radical awareness. Monitor what you feel, not just what you think. Most people believe they are in control of their lives because they are aware of their thoughts. They are not. Thoughts are only the surface. Feelings are the current beneath the surface. And that current determines direction. You can think positive thoughts all day long, repeat the right phrases, read the right books, and still end up in the same emotional states, at the same reactions, the same outcomes. Why? Because the subconscious does not move when thoughts change. It moves when emotional patterns change. Radical awareness begins with this realization. Your life is not shaped by what you occasionally think. Your life is shaped by what you habitually feel. Feelings are the language of the subconscious. They are the signal that tells you what you truly believe is possible, safe, or deserved. And most of the time, those feelings are operating automatically. You wake up already tense. You check your phone and feel behind. You encounter resistance and feel frustration before thought even forms. That emotional state becomes the lens through which the entire day is interpreted. And whatever lens you look through long enough becomes reality. This step is not about fixing anything yet. It's about seeing clearly, because you cannot change a pattern you are unconscious of. And most people are unconscious of their emotional habits. They believe they are reacting to the world, when in truth they are projecting an internal expectation onto it. So the first discipline is observation without interference. You must learn to watch yourself the way a scientist watches a system, not with judgment, not with guilt, not with self-attack, but with curiosity. Throughout the day, emotions will arise automatically. That is not the problem. The problem is identification, believing that those emotions are you rather than signals passing through you. Begin to notice what emotions appear when pressure enters, what emotions arise when plans don't go as expected, what emotions show up when you think about money, time, health, or relationships. Do not argue with them. Do not try to replace them. Just notice, because awareness alone begins to loosen the grip. This is why most people avoid awareness. They fear that noticing will make things worse. In reality, avoidance is what gives patterns their power. When something is unconscious, it runs the system. When it is conscious, it can be redirected. Here is the critical distinction most never learn. Thoughts can lie. Feelings do not. You can say you're confident while feeling anxious. You can say you're disciplined while feeling resistant. You can say you're abundant while feeling scarcity in your body. The body never lies. Emotion is truth in motion. So instead of asking, what should I be thinking? Start asking, what am I feeling right now and why? This is not emotional indulgence. This is emotional intelligence. Set 3 intentional checkpoints in your day: morning, midday, evening. At each checkpoint, pause and ask yourself one simple question. What emotion has dominated the last few hours? Not what you wanted to feel, not what you should have felt. What actually dominated? Was it tension, urgency, avoidance, calm, resentment, focus? Write it down. The act of naming an emotion removes its invisibility, and what becomes visible begins to lose authority. You will start to notice patterns. Certain environments trigger the same feelings. Certain people evoke predictable reactions. Certain thoughts carry emotional weight far beyond logic. This is not coincidence. These are emotional programs running in the background. And here is where the power lies. Whatever emotion you repeatedly live in becomes your subconscious expectation. Expectation becomes behavior. Behavior becomes outcome. If you live emotionally rehearsing lack, you attract lack. If you live emotionally rehearsing resistance, you attract resistance. If you live emotionally rehearsing calm, certainty, life begins to organize itself around that frequency, not because of magic, because of alignment. This step alone, if practiced honestly, will change you, because most people try to upgrade their life while remaining strangers to themselves. Radical awareness introduces you to the part of you that has been making decisions quietly for years. And once you see it clearly, you are no longer controlled by it. You are no longer fighting shadows. You are standing in the light of understanding. And that is where real change begins. Step 2. Interrupt reaction. Shift from automatic response to deliberate presence. Once awareness is established, the next battle is not with the world, it is with reaction. Reaction is the subconscious in motion. It is the moment when emotion hijacks behavior before thought has a chance to intervene. It is the snap reply, the defensive tone, the impulsive decision, the familiar escape. Reaction is efficient, fast, and deeply ingrained, and that is exactly why it keeps people trapped. Most people believe they are choosing their actions. They are not. They are responding to emotional momentum built long before the moment arrives. Reaction is what keeps old patterns alive. The same triggers produce the same responses, and the same responses produce the same outcomes. Not because life is fixed, but because the internal response is predictable. This step is about creating space. Space between what happens and what you do next. That space is where freedom lives. The moment something disrupts your emotional equilibrium, pause. Not to suppress the feeling, not to analyze it endlessly, but to interrupt the automatic chain. Because every reaction reinforces a subconscious instruction. This is how we handle pressure. If you react with anger, the subconscious learns anger is protection. If you react with avoidance, it learns escape is safety. If you react with indulgence, it learns relief comes from distraction. Presence breaks this loop. Presence is not passive. It is alert stillness. It is the ability to feel an emotion without obeying it. When discomfort arises, frustration, anxiety, irritation, your first task is not to fix the situation. It is to stay with the sensation long enough to understand it. This is where most people fail. They rush to resolution because discomfort feels threatening. But discomfort is not danger, it is information. So the practice becomes simple but not easy. When triggered, pause. Take one slow breath and ask silently, what is this here to teach me? Not, how do I get rid of this? Not who's at fault, but why this moment has arrived. This question shifts you from victim to observer, and observation changes everything, because the subconscious does not evolve through argument. It evolves through new experience. Each time you interrupt reaction, you show the subconscious a different outcome is possible. That interruption may last only seconds at first. That's enough. You're training a new pathway. Think of reaction as a well-worn road. It's easy because it's familiar. Presence is the act of stepping off that road and cutting a new trail. At first, it feels awkward. Eventually, it becomes natural. Here is the key insight. You do not need to change your emotion immediately. You only need to change your relationship to it. Emotion is not a command, it is a signal. When you feel anger, you don't have to act angrily. When you feel fear, you don't have to retreat. When you feel resistance, you don't have to avoid. You can feel fully and still choose deliberately. That is mastery. Begin to practice this in low-stakes moments, when someone interrupts you, when planes shift unexpectedly, when something doesn't go your way. Pause before speaking. Notice the urge to react, and instead of obeying it, choose a response aligned with who you are becoming, not who you have been. This may feel unnatural at first. That is a sign it's working. The subconscious resists change because familiarity feels safe, even when it's harmful. But every time you pause, you weaken the old program. Every time you choose presence, you strengthen a new one. Over time, something remarkable happens. The triggers lose intensity. The reactions slow. Clarity arrives faster. You begin to feel less controlled by external events and more anchored internally. This is where emotional intelligence and the laws of attraction begin to merge, not through force, through composure. Life stops dragging you from moment to moment and instead begins responding to your steadiness. And that steadiness, built one pause at a time, becomes your new default. That is how reaction turns into choice, and choice turns into power. Step 3. Reprogram through repetition. Act in alignment before motivation arrives. At this stage, most people make a fatal mistake. They wait. They wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel confident. They wait to feel ready, inspired, or certain. And while they wait, nothing changes, because the subconscious mind does not respond to intention, enthusiasm, or momentary inspiration. It responds to repetition. Repetition is the language of identity. Whatever you do consistently, especially when no one is watching, becomes who you are. This is where real transformation begins, and it is far quieter than people expect. You do not reprogram the subconscious by thinking harder. You reprogram it by doing small, aligned actions consistently until they become familiar. Familiarity becomes safety. Safety becomes identity, and identity drives behavior effortlessly. Most people believe motivation causes action. It does not. Action creates motivation. Waiting for the feeling before the behavior reverses the natural order. The feeling follows the act. That is why you can sit and think about working out for an hour and feel exhausted. But the moment you start moving, energy appears. The subconscious learns through proof, not promises. So the question becomes, what action would someone who already embodies the version of me I respect perform? Daily, quietly, without negotiation. Not a dramatic overhaul, not a heroic effort, one small, undeniable behavior. This step is about choosing a single non-negotiable action that represents alignment. It must be small enough to do even on bad days, specific enough to remove ambiguity, meaningful enough to reflect identity. Examples: 5 minutes of silence each morning to regain internal control, a daily walk regardless of mood, one focused block of work without distraction, a deliberate act of restraint where you normally indulge. The size does not matter, the consistency does. Each repetition sends a message to the subconscious. This is who we are now. And the subconscious listens. Here's where discipline replaces willpower. Willpower is emotional. Discipline is structural. When you decide in advance what you will do, no matter how you feel, you remove debate. The subconscious loves clarity. So decide your action the night before, not in the morning, not in the moment, before emotion enters the equation, then execute without commentary. No evaluation, no negotiation, no judgment. Completion is the only metric. This is critical. Do not attach meaning to the outcome. Do not ask if it worked. Do not ask if you feel different. Do not ask if it's enough. Those questions feed impatience. Your only responsibility is repetition. The subconscious requires time to update its model of reality. It does not trust sudden change, but consistency builds credibility. And as credibility builds, resistance weakens. At first, this may feel mechanical. Good. That means you are no longer dependent on mood. Over time, something subtle shifts. The action becomes easier, the resistance softens, the identity begins to stabilize. You are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are becoming someone who simply does what they said they would do. That is power. And here's the hidden truth. Small actions done consistently create emotional certainty. Certainty attracts opportunity, not because the world suddenly favors you, but because your behavior becomes predictable, focused, and aligned. Momentum builds quietly. The subconscious updates its expectation. And once expectation changes, outcomes follow. This step is not glamorous. It will not impress others, but it will transform you, because repetition does not just change behavior. It rewrites self-trust. And when you trust yourself, the entire structure of your life reorganizes around that trust. That is how identity is built. One aligned action, repeated, until it no longer feels like effort, until it feels like you. Remember step 4, interpret everything. Treat life as feedback, not punishment. This is the step where most people either evolve or stay stuck forever. Because this step requires a complete shift in how you interpret reality. Most people experience life as something that happens to them. They label events as good or bad, fair or unfair, lucky or unlucky. And once they assign those labels, they stop learning. But growth does not come from comfort. Growth comes from interpretation. Nothing in your life is random. Not the delay, not the resistance, not the disappointment that arrived just when you thought you were making progress. Life is not punishing you. It is responding to you. And every experience is feedback, pointing you toward alignment or away from it. The problem is that most people personalize events emotionally instead of interpreting them intelligently. They ask, why is this happening to me? Why does this always go wrong? Why can't things just be easy? Those questions collapse power. They lock you into reaction. The disciplined mind asks a different question. What is this trying to show me? That question alone changes everything. Because the moment you seek meaning instead of blame, you regain authority. Here is the hard truth. Life will keep presenting the same lesson until it is understood. Not because it enjoys your discomfort, but because unresolved lessons don't disappear. They repeat, patterns in relationships, patterns in money, patterns in health, time, self-sabotage. If something keeps showing up, it is not coincidence. It is curriculum. And the faster you learn to read the lesson, the faster the pattern dissolves. This step requires you to become a student of your own life, not emotionally fragile, not self-critical, but observant. When something goes wrong, pause before reacting and ask, what belief is being challenged right now? What behavior might this be exposing? What responsibility am I being asked to take that I've been avoiding? This is not about self-blame. It is about self-honesty, because honesty reveals leverage. Victimhood removes it. Here is where many people resist this step. They believe interpretation means excusing mistreatment or tolerating harm. It does not. Interpreting life intelligently doesn't mean accepting everything. It means extracting the lesson so you are no longer controlled by it. Sometimes the lesson is boundaries. Sometimes it's discipline. Sometimes it's patience. Sometimes it's courage. Life does not teach through explanation. It teaches through experience. And experience only becomes wisdom when examined. Begin treating challenges as training. When something frustrates you, assume there is a reason. When something delays you, assume something is being refined. When something collapses, assume it was unsupported by alignment. This mindset does something profound. It removes bitterness, because bitterness comes from believing pain is meaningless. Meaning transforms pain into purpose. Each night, reflect on one moment that challenged you. Not the whole day, not every issue, just one. Ask, what was demanded of me in that moment? Did it ask for restraint? Did it ask for clarity? Did it ask for ownership? Did it ask for maturity? Write the answer down, not as criticism, but as instruction. Over time, you will notice something unsettling and empowering. The lessons evolve. What once required basic discipline now demands precision. What once tested patience now tests leadership. What once required survival now requires mastery. Life raises the standard as you grow, and when you stop resisting the lesson, the pressure lifts, the pattern dissolves, and the next level opens. This is why some people feel like life gets easier, not because they avoid hardship, but because they learn faster. They stop arguing with reality, they stop asking life to change, and instead, they ask themselves to meet the moment with understanding. This step matures you. It sharpens perception, it turns chaos into guidance. And once you realize that nothing is wasted, that every experience is shaping you, you stop fearing difficulty, because you understand life is not happening to you. It is working with you, but only if you are willing to listen. Step 5, act on resonance. Move before proof appears. This is the final step, and the one that separates thinkers from doers. Because by this point, you may understand yourself better. You may react less. You may act more deliberately. You may interpret life with greater clarity, but none of that matters if you refuse to move when the moment calls. Resonance is subtle. It does not arrive with certainty or applause. It does not come with guarantees or timelines. It rarely makes logical sense to anyone else. Resonance feels like a quiet pull, a calm yes beneath the noise, a direction that feels right without explanation, a sense of alignment that persists even when doubt appears. Most people ignore resonance because it lacks evidence. They wait for permission. They wait for validation. They wait for conditions to feel safe. And while they wait, the window closes. because alignment is not passive. It requires movement. This step asks you to act before proof appears. Not recklessly, not emotionally, but decisively. When something resonates deeply, when it energizes you without forcing excitement, that is not fantasy, that is information. The body recognizes alignment before the mind can justify it. And here is the paradox. Clarity follows action, not the other way around. You do not gain confidence and then move. You move, and confidence arrives afterward. This is why faith is not belief. It is behavior. Think of a receiver running a route. The ball is thrown before the outcome is visible. If the receiver waits to see the ball first, the play fails. Movement precedes evidence. The same is true in life. When you wait for certainty, you signal doubt. When you move in alignment, you signal readiness. Life responds accordingly. This step requires trust in your internal compass, not impulse, not ego. Resonance. Impulse demands urgency. Resonance allows patience. Impulse seeks relief. Resonance seeks coherence. Impulse is loud. Resonance is steady. Learn to tell the difference. One way to know if the pull remains after fear speaks, it is resonance. If it disappears when fear arises, it was impulse. Once you identify resonant, act quietly. Do not announce it. Do not defend it. Do not explain it prematurely. Alignment does not need justification. Take one concrete action toward it. Small, deliberate, real. Send the message. Begin the work. Create the structure. Remove the obstacle. Let results speak later. This builds internal authority. You begin trusting yourself because you keep proving to yourself that you act on what matters. And trust compounds. Here's the hidden transformation. When you act on resonance consistently, life reorganizes. Opportunities appear that were invisible before. Support arrives unexpectedly. Resistance fades in areas that once felt heavy. Not because the world changed, but because your signal changed. You are no longer broadcasting hesitation. You are broadcasting coherence. And coherence attracts coherence. This is where emotional intelligence and attraction fully merge, not through wishing, not through affirmations, through embodied decision. Over time, acting on resonance becomes natural. You no longer need motivation. You no longer seek approval. You no longer ask permission. You move when alignment appears. And because you move, alignment stays with you. This is how purpose becomes momentum. This is how momentum becomes direction. And this is how direction becomes destiny. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but inevitably. Because when you stop waiting for proof, life begins proving itself to you. And now understand this. Nothing you have heard was meant to impress you. None of it was designed to entertain you. It was meant to remind you that your life has never been random, that your struggles were not mistakes, that the patterns you've lived were not punishments, but invitations. You were never meant to be carried by circumstances. You were meant to meet them with awareness, presence, discipline, understanding, and faith. When you monitor what you feel, you reclaim awareness. When you interrupt reaction, you reclaim choice. When you repeat aligned action, you reclaim identity. When you interpret life wisely, you reclaim meaning. And when you act on resonance, you reclaim direction. This is not about perfection. It is about participation. Life is not asking you to get everything right. It is asking you to show up consciously. The moment you stop arguing with reality, the moment you stop waiting to feel ready, the moment you trust what quietly calls you forward, the path responds, not loudly, not instantly, but unmistakably. You will feel steadier, clearer, more grounded, not because the world became easier, but because you became aligned. Remember this, what you seek is not avoiding you. What you desire is not withheld. It is waiting for you to meet it at the level of coherence it requires. So move forward, not in haste, but in certainty, not in fear, but in understanding, not chasing outcomes, but embodying alignment. And as you do, life will no longer feel like something happening to you. It will feel like something working with you exactly as it always was.